Grand Rising, everyone. It's good to see you all. Today we're going to be discussing CERN, the Rapture, and spiritual warfare that's happening now. There's a lot out there that we have to become aware of, and we're going to be breaking it all down today. It's a very important time period. It's important to understand and overstand everything that's going on, and really grounding ourselves to nature, getting reconnected to the Schumann resonance. It's very important at this time. It's going to connect us to the Earth's magnetic field, and people are becoming disconnected from it, and they could lose themselves. So it's a very important message. It's a very important time period, and we want to learn and expand our consciousness, become aware of the science of all of this. We want to become aware of the spiritual warfare that's going on. Oh yeah. So if you're just coming on, please give the video a like. It's going to help others find this message. If you're watching on the replay, I'm just giving everyone a few minutes to get on. And today we're going to be talking about a little bit more about CERN. We're going to be talking about the Schumann resonance, frequencies, spiritual warfare, and who is CERNunnos. Who is CERNunnos? We're going to learn about it today. It's an important time period to be aware of the things that are just put in front of our faces, and we don't really know what's going on. What do these words mean? What do these things mean? And we're going to really put on the full armor of God at this time, and move forward. Even though the world seems like it's falling apart right now, it's actually a very important time period. So there's a lot of prestige out there. we're gonna be talking about that as well, and it's important that we stay grounded at this time, almost staying neutral, and not buying into the fear, and also not thinking that everything is unicorns and rainbows. It's not all unicorns and rainbows. Also, let me know in the chat if you're live right now. Give me a 5x5 if the sound is crystal clear. I have a new setup today. Yeah, we're with the plants today. We're grounding in nature. This is a massive time period, and I'm practicing what I preach. We shared about this last night in our Zoom meeting. If it calls you and you'd like to join our Patreon, we have live Zoom meetings, and we collaborate together. And it's so important with what's going on in the world right now, especially in July, that you are focused on your core vibrational frequency. Yeah, we're going to actually talk about Shiva, the destroyer, as well. And I know that a lot of you are familiar with Shiva, the destroyer, but maybe you're not familiar with CERNunnos. And we have to wipe the crust from our eyes. It's time to wake up, rise and shine. It's a spiritual war going on, and we have to expand consciousness. We become aware and know that there's nothing that we can do except for work on ourselves, work on our vibrational frequency, and get connected back to nature, back to the Schumann resonance. And it's really such an important time period. And people they're maybe not aware of the importance of the Schumann resonance for your existence. The Schumann resonance, it is sending out a signal to all organisms, all living things. Maybe not inorganic things, maybe not like, say, I don't know, robots and things like that, but the Schumann resonance sends out signals to all of Earth's organisms, and it connects us to the Earth's magnetic field. And we've been sharing a lot about electromagnetism, the electromagnetic frequency of our planet, of our realm is rising right now, and that's in the Schumann resonance. And as we are all organic creatures, are you an organic being? We have to become in alignment with the Schumann resonance at this time. I know, Melissa, a lot of people are feeling this right now. There's a lot of chaos right now, a lot of wild things that are happening in the world. They said that men's hearts will fail them for fear during this time. It is biblical. And, you know, this is a time period to reflect and put yourself first. You have to really work hard on your physical, mental, and spiritual health. We have a spiritual health. We're going to be discussing this today. We didn't come here to bow down to false idols. We didn't worship all these weird. Do you know about these weird creatures that these that they worship out there? We're not here to worship these creatures. We're here because we're infinite beings. And when we analyze CERN, we become aware of spiritual warfare happening now. This is the rapture. And we're going to two different locations, two different realities right now. Oh, yeah. So please give the video a like. It's going to help others find this message if you haven't done so already. And if it calls you through free will, of course, please subscribe to the channel. Click the bell next to subscribe and select all. You'll get all the updates every time I come on. You'll get a little ring on your phone. And we have a lot of information. So let's get the show on the road. Many of you are familiar with CERN and the experiments that they conduct. And right now, in this now moment, as I'm making this transmission, CERN is pushing out so much energy that it's never reached this point before. And you know, when we're aware of this frequency that's being blasted and smashed, we have to also become familiar with the area of CERN, the land of CERN. It's very interesting when we study these things. I know that a lot of you are familiar with how, I don't know, like Washington, D.C., it's its own little entity, right? It's not actually part of the country. Maybe some of you are familiar that the Vatican, right? It's not part of Italy. It's its own little entity. Well, guess what? The circle of CERN is also its own entity, right? It's not part of the actual country that it's in. It's a different entity, if you will. So all of these places we have to ask the question, why is this so? So, you know, when we're pulled in, or if a person is pulled in to a different frequency that's not of God, that's not of source, that's called the Schumann resonance. And if you're new to this, you should check out the Schumann resonance, and we're following the Schumann resonance. And what's happening right now is people are picking up on a different frequency. We're the only species that's tuned into static, this static frequency, and it's causing a lot of craziness. Some of you actually are feeling a lot of, you know, you're shaking around, you're feeling irritable, you're not sure what's really going on, and you're feeling this, you're feeling agitated. Well, now you don't have the normal frequency of the Schumann. People are becoming disconnected. They're becoming disconnected from their own DNA. 93% of the function of DNA is light and sound reception and transmission. If you're new to this, you don't have junk DNA. Regardless of what the serpents told you, the subconscious program, God didn't create junk. So your DNA is responsible for light and sound reception and transmission. You could actually heal yourself through frequencies. You heal yourself when you're grounding to the planet, right? Allowing the negative ions of the planet to course through us. If this is new to you, you could look up nature's deficit disorder. And people, they're beaten down by the matrix. They put their rubber soles on. They go to their matrix cubicle. Their life force energy is siphoned away from them. And they don't have time to go in nature. They don't have time for their family and friends. It's all taken away from them. People are losing the ability to heal themselves, and then they're going to have to they're becoming desperate, and they have to go to a false idol, right? They give themselves up and say, oh, I need something outside of myself to heal me, while actually you heal yourself and God heals us as well. It resonates within our DNA. So there's a lot of craziness in the world. We're experiencing the rapture right now. And what's happening, and it might not be what you expected, but we're seeing, right? If you're familiar with the rapture, like almost half the population disappears. Well, it's maybe a metaphor, but it's partially happening vibrationally right now. So some people are getting pulled into the black hole. CERN could also be pumping out a frequency to help pull them into this black hole. Maya, thank you so much, Maya. I appreciate you. You're amazing, Maya. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. It's my honor to do this. It's my honor to expand human consciousness. And let's learn more about the spiritual warfare that's happening now. Spiritual warfare. So some people are getting pulled into the black hole, and they're not able to regenerate themselves. They're looking for, they need to feed off a source outside of them. Are you familiar with this concept, right? They have to feed off the life force energy of other things. They're not getting the sustenance that they need from themselves. They're disconnected from God, the source frequency. Think about, if you have an electronic and you pull out the plug, it's not connected to the source, right? The battery runs on empty eventually. So we have to reconnect ourselves to the source, reconnect ourselves to the Schumann resonance. While if you have, for example, it's possible if you have a secondary frequency like CERN emitting this, we're not picking up the frequency that we actually need, the one that's going to give us the sustenance that we need. This is a spiritual war, and this is spiritual warfare. And you already might be familiar with Shiva the Destroyer. They have this tremendous statue in front of CERN, Shiva the Destroyer. And we have to ask the question, if you're conducting an experiment and all the people of the world are supposed to give permission for this, all the people of the world, if you're conducting regular experiments to find what is called the God particle, why do you have a tremendous statue of Shiva the Destroyer in front of this, whatever it's called, satanic ritual thing going on there, right? And a lot of you might be familiar with this. You maybe have done the research. You learned about Shiva the Destroyer in front of CERN. In today's lesson, we're focused on learning something new. CERN. The word CERN, where does it come from? We asked the question today, who is CERNunnos? Do you know about CERNunnos, Light Warriors? We're here to become aware, and we're expanding consciousness. And this might be something very new to you. Who is CERNunnos? He's a greeter at Walmart. Might be. It might be. So who is CERNunnos? CERNunnos is known as the Horned One. In Celtic religion, an archaic and powerful deity widely worshipped as the Lord of wild things. CERN. CERNunnos, the Horned One. A powerful deity widely worshipped as the Lord of wild things. What are the wild things that are happening in the world right now? A lot of us are aware it's getting crazy out there. when we think of CERN and we connect it to CERNunnos, a deity that's worshipped as the Lord of wild things. What are the wild things that are happening right now? More and more people are realizing that this is a spiritual war. The rapture, what's happening right now, they said that, what did that creature say that time? Lucifer is harvesting souls. Yeah, they're harvesting souls. But it's a cabal. It's multiple entities. You could see Shiva the Destroyer. You could see CERNunnos. You could see this, right? But then on the other side, we have the 144,000. And we have the archangels, like Michael. And the archangels are here. And we want to become familiar with the archangel El. In Hebrew, El means God. And that's why the forces of God are also now here. The archangels and in El, the Els are here. God is here. So there's nothing to fear right now. When we see these two forces right now, it's free will. And the soul, the energy that operates the body, is going to make a conscious decision during the rapture. And which reality are you going to be tuning into? Vibrational frequency, the 3D, the 5D. We see the 3D to 5D timeline split. There is nothing to fear. And everything is free will. We can't force our brothers and sisters to wake up to these things. It's all free will. Everything is allowed. You might say to yourself, why is it allowed to happen? You say, Michael, why is it allowed to happen? And because there are laws of the universe. These are not fake man-made laws. Do you know about fake man-made laws? These are universal laws. And it's the universal law of free will. And it's allowed to happen because of this. We're all under God, even though there's a cabal that is broken free and is attacking God and God's people. It all has to play out through free will. So some will line up for the mark of the beast. We heard this phrase. This is a biblical event right now. Some will line up for the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast will then help calibrate the individual or the vessel that the soul is operating out of. And then you have a secondary frequency to the Schumann resonance. You could have CERN, for example, emitting a frequency. And people, they start to resonate to a different frequency. And, it's really an important time period to become aware of this. The other day I shared about Dr. Masaru Emoto. And Dr. Masaru Emoto, you might say this seems, kind of out there. Dr. Masaru Emoto conducted an experiment in front of an audience, and it was filmed. And he had two identical musical triangles, and he struck one triangle, and his assistant was over 30 feet away from him with a microphone. He hits one triangle, and the vibrational frequency, because it matched up to the other triangle, it started to resonate. And then through the microphone, the second triangle, without being touched physically, it was touched physically through vibration and frequency, right? But he didn't physically, boom, he didn't hit that one. All of a sudden, the secondary triangle begins to ring. So when we start to see the banging of CERN or other things, we have to become aware. We see the sign. If you're learning something new today, Light Warrior, please smash the like button. It helps others find this message. I'm very grateful for all the support. And we have to learn about all these things. So when they tell you to put on the full armor of God, it's time to put on the full armor of God. And you might not have been aware of CERNunnos, the Lord of wild things. You could reflect in the chat. You could reflect in the comments. What are the wild things that we see in the world right now? What did it say biblically? Men's hearts will fail them for fear. And it's not it's not about you. If you're aware, we shared about this last night in our Zoom meeting on Patreon. If you'd like to join our Patreon, the a recording of that, it was a tremendous live stream. It'll be up by the end of the day. What are the wild things that we're seeing? So we're the observer. Remember what Tesla said, I am the observer. Just observe at this time period. Focus on yourself. Focus on your vibrational frequency. Focus on what you want to create, because you will become the change that you want to see in the world. Once again, you will become the change that you want to see in the world. None of us can do anything. We're not going out, we're just living our lives. We're actually emitting a frequency. We broadcast an electromagnetic signature into the quantum field. So be the change you want to see in the world. Be the lighthouse. Be the lighthouse. They scammed humanity, right, Michael? Right? It's a scam. A lot of the things that we bought into, they're called subconscious programs. They were implanted within our minds through repetition and passed down through generations and repeated and repeated and repeated on the television. They're telling you a vision. That's why it's called a program. They're programming your mind. That's why it's called a broadcast, because they're casting a spell. A lot of information in this one. Please smash the like button. We're going to get it out there, Light Warriors. But listen, there's no fear. We're just hanging out. That's all. Literally, I'm being serious. I know there might be some work to be done. Like I know, like say for my personal journey, right? I had to find a location that's a little bit lighter for this now moment. It's very hot in July. If it's going to be incredibly hot in July, please send some flames in the chat. It's so hot right now. It's burning. And the rapture is actually happening right now. You're seeing it, right? And it's just on frequency. They can't hear you anymore. So they're tuned in, right? Some people are tuned into the source frequency, and some people are tuned into the inorganic frequency. And that's okay, because free will is the law of the universe. If a person wants to tune in, they can't break free. That's their personal journey right now. That's why they said Lucifer is harvesting souls right now. And through free will, people have to break free. They have to allow the light of Christ to go through the DNA receptors, and none enter the sacred vessel, because we are all the observers. We are the infinite beings. We don't have to channel anything else outside of ourselves. This reality right now, it's about to get real wild. Remember CERNunnos, the Lord of wild things. It's going to get wild. It's chaotic. But we don't have to channel anything from outside of ourselves, because we are the infinite beings. We're known as the 144,000, the warriors of the rainbow of the Hopi prophecy. CG, thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Really reflect on spiritual warfare. And I'm sure people are tuning in right now. More and more people are tuning in. Let me know. Give me a 5x5 if we're clear. Some people are saying it's glitching. Give me a 5x5 so I know it's nice and clear. People are tuning in, and you might have heard of Shiva the Destroyer. And Shiva of the, you've seen, I could actually reflect back years ago when I started my awakening journey, and I started seeing those weird creatures in the CERN opening rituals. Did you see the CERN opening rituals. So I saw all these creatures, right? And then we saw Shiva, Shiva the Destroyer, the statue in front, and people were focused there. But people were not focused on CERNunnos. And now things are starting to make sense. Now we're looking out here and we're saying, wow, isn't the world getting very strange? Right? So look at CERNunnos. Look at that picture of CERNunnos. Look up CERNunnos. Over the top. Look up CERNunnos and look at those weird looking creatures in the opening ceremonies. So, you know, when we saw those, and this is going back for years now. I started my awakening journey, and I appreciate that. Yeah, if you're getting a crystal clear, give me the 5x5. Some people said it glitched. Just click a quick refresh of the page. Come back in. When you look at those opening ceremonies, when you look at the horned one, right? You know, people they hear the stories about demons, right? The demons, right? The horned one, right? And you look at CERNunnos, and you think about the wild things that are happening. That's how they're casting the spells. They're broadcasting the spells. But never fear, because you're much more powerful than you were led to believe. And you know, when you have that full armor of God, we're all emitting, right? So we have the collective reality, and we're all emitting this frequency around us, right? That's that full armor. We're sealed in the forehead at this time, right? That's interesting, Nicole, right? So now we're starting to see the connections between all of these things. So, you know, when you start to expand your consciousness, you learned about CERNunnos, the horned one, the wild things that are happening in the world right now. Biblically, they said that men's hearts will fail them for fear. We could understand the rapture that's happening now. Their souls going in two separate locations, two different frequencies, two different realms, if you will. Kerry Lusk, thank you so much. I appreciate you. It's getting so interesting. Thank you so much. It really is. You know, when I learn these things, you know, and I see these crazy things. A lot of you saw the CERN opening ceremony. Anyone could look it up on. You could look it up on YouTube. Look it up on the Google. CERN opening ceremony, and you look at these weird creatures and you say, "Huh? What's going on? What's going on?" It's a question. What's going on at these ceremonies, right? And you know, it's just interesting. I shared last night in our Zoom meeting. I experienced some crazy things, but I didn't get. You know, I look, I observe, right? As my papa once said, I put it on my blackboard. They used to call, put it down on your blackboard, right? And we don't get fearful. We don't get concerned. We're just observing. We observe. We see what's going on. It's interesting, and that's it. You know. So yeah, there's a lot of broadcasts that are happening, and that's why your body is feeling like this. Some days you're feeling good. You're feeling in alignment. You're seeing the new earth, and then some days you're picking up the different frequency. And I shared this many times. If you're in a car and you're driving, you have a radio station on, and as you drive, there's two stations. You start to pick up the second station, and now you have two stations being picked up on your radio. So Nikola Tesla said, I am the receiver. So you are receiving the frequencies. You have God frequencies. You have Schumann resonance, 432 hertz. You have CERN. You have TV. You have all these other frequencies, and people. What's going on? You, Lisa, it's my honor to do this. Hold down yourself at this time. Don't buy into the fear. Don't buy into the guilt and shame. Focus on yourself. You see the positive energy here, the positive energy to remove negative frequencies as well. I just saw a glitch as well. Hopefully there. But again, as I was saying, not only is it important positive frequencies, it's to remove negative frequencies as well. These energetic cords, we can't pull in. I could see that the glitching is picking up right now. So hopefully it's working. But you know, the positive. I'm also a little far away. I tried to have this set up out here, but I think it started to be throwing off the Wi-Fi. If you got a 5x5, let me know. But it is an important aspect to experiencing right now. They're on, and some people are going to God, and some people are going to the other place. So, all right, I love you all. I can see that we're glitching. Please give the video a like. Please subscribe to the channel. Share this message on all platforms, and maybe go back on the replay. I know it's glitching pretty bad right now. It's all right. And I love you all. If it calls you, join our Patreon. Very grateful for the support. Links are in the description. Keep sharing. Keep going. Victory of the light.